Hello everyone, welcome back, JavaMentor.net here. In today's video, let's learn about final keyword. So let's start with the simplest place to put final keyword, and that is put final keyword on the class definition. And this final on the class definition is telling to Java we want to forbid other classes to extend person class. It's that simple. So if you go to student class which extends person, you will see red underlined here, and it will basically tell you cannot inherit from final class, right? And that's a whole thing about final on class level. A very similar thing happens if you put final inside the definition of the method, which means that, okay, you can extend person class, but in the subclasses, in the child classes, you cannot override describe me method. So if you take a look here, we tried to override describe me, but this is red now. It says at the end, overridden method is final. That's it about putting final on a method. And the last and the most complicated place to put final is on some field or variable or something like that. So let's say that for some reason we have a list of string here, maybe names. So we are just creating one variable, list of strings, right? And we want to add new name, and I will add my name. And then after that I will say names equal new array list, right? So we added one name, but then we assigned new list, new reference to this variable, which means that if you try names.size now, it should be 0, because this list doesn't contain any element. You let's say override old reference. Okay. So if you put final on this variable, something will be red. Let's see what it says. Cannot assign a value to final variable. So what this final is doing on a variable is that it allows you to set a reference only once. So you set one reference and that's it. You can call methods, you can do whatever, but you cannot again assign a new reference on the variable which already contains one reference, right? Okay, and the same applies if you put, let's say, final here, right? So let's say we create, let's delete this, we create a constructor, public student, and we will pass as an argument student ID, and here we will say student ID equals student ID. So here we assigned parameter from the constructor to this student ID, and now we cannot say student ID equals something, whatever is here, because this is final. Cannot assign a value to final variable. And the same applies to a parameter. For example, if you have final parameter, whatever, you cannot say p equals new array list. This is final. And if this is not a final, you will be able to do this. Okay, it's only telling you p is never used, but it's fine. It's not complaining regarding compiling. And that's it. The last question that you might ask for yourself is, why do we want to forbid things? Like, if assigning a new value is a bad thing, well, smart developers won't do that, right? Well, that's where you are wrong. Like, smart persons do dumb things. And now we have a very simple example. So maybe it makes sense to raise that question, but if you have a very complex system, not all developers are aware of all specific things of all classes. So they will maybe accidentally make some mistakes. They will extend some classes that are not meant for extension, and so on and so on. Anyway, we will talk more about why somewhere near the end of this playlist. Now I just wanted to show you what final is doing if you put final keyword on some attribute, on some variable, on some class, and on some method. That's it.